This cup is responsible for the idea of this video, so blame it all on the cup. Hey guys, what's up? My name is Andrei Ong, and you already know what this video is going to be about, assuming that you read the title. I mean, of course you did, right? This video is going to be about me making my own electric drums out of a keyboard and unused cups, like cup noodles. Darn you, stupid cup! You make me look stupid! Whoops. Then after I complete the project, I will try and make a song using the electric drums that I made. And yeah, I wasn't joking about the cup. It really is responsible for this project. And the reason for that is because of that one time I started fooling around with it.
How do you do it? Are you using the cups as drums?
Could be drums.
Yeah.
Imagine if they make like drums like this.
Yeah, but how they're cups.
Possible, I guess.
Seems like a lot of work.
You think I should do it? You think I should try?
Seems like a lot of work though.
Yeah, it wasn't as easy as I thought. Anyway, fast forward to now. I already completed the project. All that's missing is this cup, which I will be adding last for dramatic effect. Because why not? But before we do that, let me take you all to the beginning where it all started. I'd just like to give a quick disclaimer that I am no professional engineer. So if you think that I made any mistake in the process, well then maybe you're right. Sorry to all my fellow engineers. So the following day, after fooling around with this cup, I decided to try and make a prototype of this project, just to get the idea of it and to see if I could nail it. Clarice's sister had an old keyboard that she wasn't using, so I asked if I could use that. I'd use the circuit of the keyboard to connect my drum pads to the computer. As for the drum pads, I had 2 cup noodles which I could use for this prototype. So I ate one of the noodles and I offered the other one to Clarice's sister in exchange for the keyboard that I asked for. And you may be asking, why didn't I just use this cup for testing? Well, like I said earlier, I'd like to use it last for dramatic effect. Save the last for the best. Best for the last. Anyway, long story short, the prototype was a success, but I only used temporary wires to hold down the pins together. And in order to trigger the drum pad, I used the foil from Ferrero Chocolates, again from Clarice's sister. And for the other drum pad, I used one of the buttons of the keyboard. Is it just me, or does that look like egg? Or maybe I'm just hungry. Alright, so I'm finally done. Or should I say, badantis. So it all went well, and I knew I could do better. I just needed to order a couple more things and equipment, and I had to collect a bunch of unused cups in order to start the main project. And after 5 long days, all of the items were delivered, and I have collected enough cups that will make a standard drum set. So it was finally time to start the main project. I started opening the cheap keyboard that I ordered and took the circuit out. I tested 8 different combinations of the pins and wrote down the result of the symbols produced. After that, I soldered permanent wires to the pins, which I found pretty difficult. I was also having the same problem when working with the prototype, so I thought it had something to do with my soldering iron being old, and maybe it didn't function very well. I ordered a new soldering iron that is thinner and can control the amount of heat that it produces. I also ordered soldering paste in order to help solder, but still, the lead wouldn't stick properly and I was almost about to give up on the project. So I called up my dad, who was an engineer, and asked him what the problem could be. At first, he thought it was because of my poor soldering technique, but later on we figured out that it was the lead. The lead that I ordered had an alloy of 2080. What I need was at least the 6040. The 2080 lead is hard to melt, and when you melt it, it becomes raw and dried out very quickly. It is good only for bigger electrical wires and requires tremendous heat to melt it, is what my dad said to me. So it meant that I had to order another lead and had to wait a few more days for that. But no, I didn't give up. I kept trying until I found the right technique. I concentrated and focused really hard on it. Although it may have taken a few hours and Clarice, who was helping me take the video, had already fallen asleep. So I had to use the camera stand and tried my best to document every step I made. So once I was finally done soldering the wires, I placed it on top of a small platform in order to tape down the wires and prevent it from moving around, or even worse, disconnecting. So I made a few more tests on the computer to see if all the combinations were correct and went ahead connecting it to the 3.5mm female socket jack that I ordered. Once that was all done, I started making a box where I could place this improvised keyboard circuit. I used a cool looking box of the new lens I bought for my camera, as it looked perfect for the circuit to be placed. I measured the places where I would bore the holes using a ruler and used a soldering iron to melt the plastic. Then I realized that it wasn't plastic. It was made out of a cardboard of some sort, which started burning, and Clarice woke up thinking that the place was on fire due to the smell. So I asked her help to film me doing this part. Burning.
Yeah, I can.
Anyway, it all went well, the measurements and everything were good, so it was time to place the circuit inside. I added a plain surface in front in order to grip the sockets even more firmly. And finally, after a couple of hours of working, I finally completed the first part of my project, making the heart of the drum kit. I don't know what to call it, but it pretty much works that way. I tested it with a quick trigger pad that I made, and it worked perfectly. On the second day, it was time to make the actual drum kit, making my own drum pads and triggers using the cups that I collected. For the prototype, if you remember, I used foils and buttons. For this main project, I purchased piezo transducers. Basically, these are like switches, but in order to trigger them, pressure must be applied. Perfect for my drum experiment. Piezos are actually used in real electric drum kits. I also purchased a couple of AUX cables, which would be connected to the sockets later on. So I cut each of the AUX cables in half and connected the piezo transducers to the cut ends. I then traced the outline of the cups I collected to the insulation foam that I purchased online and cut them into circles according to the right measurements. All that's left to do is to permanently place the cups, which are now my version of the drum pads, on a flat surface. And luckily for me, the new guitar that I recently ordered just arrived on the same day. I went ahead and cut the box in order to use it as a platform, but of course I had to do some measurements. After that, I placed the piezos on top of each cups and placed the insulation foams above it. After mounting a few of the drum pads to the platform, I decided to run a few tests to make sure that everything was going well. So I continued what I was doing, and all that hard work led up to this moment, putting the last cup. Now all there's left to do is converting this cup into a drum pad, this cup that is responsible for this project. And I'll finally mount this last piece in a cinematic way. Black bars, color grading, and now we're good to go. Oh, shoot. Hey, where'd the black bars go? Is my face seen?
No.
Okay, good.
Andrei, what are you doing? What are you doing?
Advertising my product. And finally, it's time to make a song using my very own electric drum set. Yeah, like I said, I'm not an engineer. Sorry again, fellow engineers. Thank you all for watching that video. It took me a lot of time to make, so I hope you're watching till the end. And don't forget to stream my latest release on Spotify, entitled Unstoppable, after this video. Now before I end this video, I'd just like to let you all know that Clarice and I have been sad lately because Haley's gone missing, and I really do hope she comes back. Anyway, please like this video, comment down your thoughts, and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. I will see you all in the next video. See ya.
Feel the power inside my bones. Nothing's gonna stop me, I'm in the zone. If you wanna know who I am, I'm unstoppable. Can't stop making me fly so high. I just wanna live till the day I die. Don't you dare try to mess with me, I'm unstoppable.